All right, hello. Thank you for tuning in. This is RJ, that's Sean, and we have a newbie today. That is the great Trey Malloy. If you do not know who Trey Malloy is, he used to be, before he got old, used to be one of the premier youth bowlers in the state of Oklahoma. Um, and if you don't know him, where have you been the last 20 years? Um, Trey, say hi to the folks.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
So today I want to start off. Last week we did not have a football or basketball show. I really apologize for that. Sean was a little under the weather last Wednesday, and then last Sunday I had a bowling tournament that I was out of town for, so I didn't get back till late. So we did not do a show at all last week. So we'll try to make up for it this week. So we're just going to start off with recapping Week 14 of the NFL season. I want to start. I want to start off with the Eagles defeating the Saints 24-21. Sean, I told you the Eagles needed to start Jalen Hurts, and I was right.
I didn't necessarily disagree with that. My thing was, do you want to put him behind that horrible offensive line and get him hurt?
Hmm.
That was my thing.
Well, it
I
seemed to
wasn't saying
work.
Carson Wentz was having a good season. It worked when Hurst got out of the pocket because he couldn't stay in the pocket
I was
when
looking
he
at
got
the
loose.
I was looking at the stats. I was looking at the stats. Do you know how many sacks New Orleans had?
Coming in the game or just in that game?
No, in that game, zero.
No. Yeah. And they've been sacking the heck out
Zero.
of people.
That's horrible. That's horrible. And especially the Eagles' offensive line is probably the worst ever that I've ever seen in the history of ever. And you can't sack a rookie quarterback, Jalen Hurts. That's pretty pathetic if you're the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, you'd have thought they would have brought a little more heat because against a rookie quarterback in his first start. I don't know.
What do you have to say, Trey?
I don't know. He definitely gave me some Kyler Murray vibes, scrambling around out there, and like I don't know. It kind of seems like that's the new quarterback style. With Lamar doing that on Monday, he ran for what 100 something, and then you got Jalen Hurts out there avoiding the pressure against probably, if not the best, one of top three best defenses in the NFL with the Saints. So, like you were saying, I don't understand why you don't bring pressure against a new quarterback coming in. He runs a lot because you saw that in college.
Yeah.
I don't see why you don't bring eight guys coming at him.
Make him toss the ball.
Pretty sad.
Make him make a bad decision.
This week I have Sean and I both. I don't know about you, Trey. Sean and I both have been torn all season about who we think is winning each division or each conference.
Okay.
And this weekend solidified my picks. Especially, I knew who was going to win the AFC. My Chiefs are obviously going to win the AFC, but the NFC was a toss-up for me, and the Saints are not going to win the NFC. There's just no way. There's just no way. I cannot. I mean, that was absolutely disgusting that they let the Eagles score 24 points.
But do you think maybe it was just a letdown game, or do you think not having Breeze there affected them? I mean, every team has a letdown game, and maybe that was theirs. Philly's not a very good team.
No, Philly is not a good team, but the Saints have been rolling. The Saints have been rolling, and I don't know. That's pretty pathetic. I if if they would have put up more of a fight defensively, then I would, if it would have been a 14-10 game, 17-14 game, then maybe I'm like, yeah, that was just a fluke on both sides. But they let the Eagles score 24 points with 0 sacks. That's bad. I don't know if you can play that bad and just call it a fluke,
And I also think the Saints weren't missing anybody defensively, so you can't even blame it on injuries or the COVID or anything like that. So
no, and obviously it might have been a different game with Drew Brees in, but at the end of the day, they don't have Drew Brees. They're gonna have to learn how to play without him. So that moves me to the next team, who I think is going to win the NFC, who's going to the Super Bowl. The Packers beat the Detroit Lions 31-24, clinching the NFC North. The Packers weren't hyped going into this season. Is the Packers leading the NFC? Does that shock either of you?
Yeah.
Not really. No, honestly, not really.
I've been pretty heavy on the Packers all year. And I think, I'm not surprised at all.
I think coming into the season, there was huge expectations in Chicago, huge expectations in San Francisco, all the NFC West, really. The South, the Saints, it surprises me a little bit because their defense is not that good, and we didn't know what they had on offense coming in the season.
I'll be honest, I'm a little disappointed in the Vikings, actually. I thought they would be a little bit better than they are. They got Dalvin Cook back there, but he's playing great, don't get me wrong, but they don't seem to be consistent.
They just really don't have the weapons. They have a couple back there, but they have Thielen, but losing Stephon Diggs, they're just
Thielen's up and down this year.
Yeah. They signed Kirk Cousins as an elite quarterback. They gave him elite quarterback money. He's not playing elite. He's disappointing in my book. That starts with the quarterback, really. Yeah. He's an average quarterback. He's a good quarterback. He's not elite.
Yep, you're right.
They seem to have problems, or the Vikings. The Vikings seem to have problems when Dalvin Cook's going to get the ball. He's one of the best running backs in the league. But if defenses know that, they're going to plan to stop the run. And then if Kirk Cousins can't do his thing, that's why they're 6-7.
It's it's just flat out. Average quarterbacks cannot win in today's NFL. Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, Taysom Hill. Average quarterbacks cannot win.
You can win. You can't go far in the playoffs. You can get in the playoffs.
That's what I'm talking about. You can't win it all. You can't win your conference with an average quarterback. Jared Goff, that's another good. That's my favorite example because the Rams have a really, really, really good defense. They're not doing anything because Jared Goff's pretty sad. So the next game, I'll leave Sean anticipating what we'll talk about, and I want to go to Chiefs beating the Dolphins. What are your thoughts?
Watched that game. It actually wasn't even as close as the score looked like. It was. I expected the Dolphins to put up a little bit more of a fight, and it looked kind of good in the first quarter, but it fell apart pretty quick for them. And then they made a late run, but Chiefs pretty much dominated that one.
Yeah, I agree. I will say I was impressed a little bit with Miami's defense in the first quarter. They came out very strong. They looked like it was going to be a great close game, and that Mahomes might have some difficulties, and then he turned on that MVP switch.
Yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs went on a 30-0 run after they let the Dolphins score 10 points. And I was watching Colin Cowherd say that this was a horrible performance from Kansas City. He had the audacity to move the Buffalo Bills ahead of the Kansas City Chiefs in his power rankings.
Okay, why you listen to that guy in the first place?
Because of this. That is absolutely ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. There was not, even when the Dolphins were up 10-0, there was not a second where I was like, oh, wow, the Dolphins might actually win this game. Patrick Mahomes had a played absolutely horrible. Three interceptions. I mean,
I
that's
think he was
absolutely
sacked
horrible.
4 or 5 times.
That's horrible.
He had 4 or 5 sacks.
That's what we were talking about earlier with the Saints loss. This was a fluke game for Kansas City because Patrick Mahomes, the best player in the league, played absolutely horrible. The offensive line played absolutely horrible, and they still come out with a win in Miami. I don't know. Is Colin just crazy? I mean, how is Kansas City not number one? Because Miami's a good team. They're not slackers by any means. So.
Yeah, I don't. That guy's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what? The week after the Steelers beat the Ravens for the first week, the first time, power rankings still had the Ravens ahead of the Steelers. So I don't understand power rankings.
I think it's just bias. A lot of bias in the power rankings. So finally, the game I've been ready to talk about. The Buffalo Bills beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 26-15. I want Sean's take first.
Okay, first off, let me preface this with saying Ben is playing out of his mind. He is making all the throws. He's making tight throws. He's making touch throws in between coverage. He's throwing the long ball. Up until about 2-3 weeks ago, these guys were catching everything. The last 3 weeks, they're dropping everything, and it's killing us. And then also, conservative play calling. Sometimes it doesn't seem like they even try and get a first down. It's kind of maddening. They had 4 players, 3 other 4 linebackers out for that game, starting quarterback out for that game. Still no excuse. Like Tomlin says, standard's the standard in Pittsburgh. He's not making excuses. Team's not making excuses. They got beat. But the reason, if I may go back to the Washington game, that game was so important because that's a game you should win. No shame in losing to the Bills. You come in there 12-0.
Right.
But now you've lost 2 in a row. Now everybody thinks the wheel's coming off. And, thank God they have Cincinnati this week. Maybe they can set the boat straight. But, yeah, it's optics doesn't look good right now for Pittsburgh.
No, honestly, Pittsburgh Steelers are a good team. Their record is a lot better than what they are, though. Watching the game against Buffalo, watching the game against Washington. Gosh, that was brutal. I don't even know if the Steelers will make the AFC Championship round anymore. Honestly, I watched the Bills handled them. The Bills handled them. It wasn't back and forth. The Bills handled them. And there's a good chance they have to play the Bills in the second round. So I'm gonna have to say this game, the Steelers are not gonna even make the conference championship. I don't think they're not even gonna get to play Kansas City. I think they're in trouble, and the only reason they're 11-2 is because they have an MVP Hall of Fame quarterback. But
oh no, that defense is really good.
well, I
That
thought
defense
so
gets after
until
people.
they let Washington score on them, and they let the Bills score all over on them, and you know, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I respectfully disagree. They'll be there. I don't see anybody beating them on the way to the conference championship.
I agree. I think you're wrong, RJ. I hate saying this as a Browns fan, but the Steelers they are pretty good. I think they weren't well prepared going into Washington game. They kind of let their guard down. They thought, we can just kind of do what we want against them. And then I think they just kind of were panic mode, I guess you could say. Maybe they didn't know what losing felt like, and then they didn't know how to bounce back from it. But I think it's really good that they get Cincinnati this week, because if they had to play a Tennessee or a Rams or even a Chargers, it could go fast. It could go bad real fast.
Also, they played like 4 games in like, I want to say like 23 days, something like that. That's a lot of games in 4 weeks. I mean, 4.
Well, for the sake of an interesting AFC Championship game, I hope you're right. But at this point, I'm not on the Steelers anymore. The Buffalo Bills look good to me now. I mean, the Buffalo Bills have looked good to me all year, but it's been a toss-up between them and the Steelers all year, and now all of a sudden the Bills ran over the Steelers, on Sunday. So I like that. So finally, the last game we're going to recap. And then we'll move on to next week. The Ravens beat the Browns on Monday Night Football, 47-42 in Cleveland. Trey, you start.
I'll be honest with you. Honestly, I didn't watch a lot of the game. I was scared to watch the game, because I knew the Browns were going to do what they always do. They sucker you in. They make you think that they got this one in the bag. They come out, they score, they're leading, and then all of a sudden it goes, and you think they're going to come back. You think they're going to come back, and they just can't do it. I think I will say that the Browns earned a lot of respect playing that game, and how close they kept that game. I've been hearing almost everywhere I listen that it game of the year maybe, with how great of a game it was.
I'd say so.
I think that if Lamar Jackson didn't leave the game, though, it would have been a bigger blowout.
I think this is just a testament to how, the Ravens are actually not slackers, believe it or not. That's crazy to think, the last 5, maybe 6 weeks, everybody's lost faith in the Ravens, a lot of losses. A lot of losses been piling up, a lot of dumb losses, like loss to the Patriots. That was horrible. The Browns, that is probably the best the Browns have played all year. That is the best game the Browns have played all year. And, I mean, Baker Mayfield, for once in his life.
You got to back up to the Titans. The Titans was the best game they played all year.
Titans, I agree. Titans was the best game the Browns have had all year. This is two good weeks of back-to-back Browns performances.
I don't know. I don't know. I like this. I like this performance a lot better, just because. They were. I don't know. I do like how you brought that up, but they did really well, and they needed it. They needed it bad. Baker Mayfield finally played a good game for once in his life, and
Titans game. We didn't get a chance to talk about the Titans game last night. Like 4 touchdowns?
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, I don't. I tend not to.
Hey, I'm no Baker Mayfield fan, but I actually In the second half, when the Ravens went up by like 14, I turned away for a couple minutes, came back and freaking tied,
Yep.
where they were up by a point. I'm like, what the heck just happened?
Yeah.
That's a good point about Lamar having to leave the game. Fantastic game, though, man. That was the last 5 minutes for something else. Wow. I'm still not sold on Lamar Jackson. I think he's a mirage and he can't win in the playoffs. Defenses get too good, and he's just not a good enough quarterback to throw the ball. You got to throw the ball at some point.
Yeah, we talked
Yeah,
about
I think
his struggles earlier, and I agree with you. This year he's definitely underperforming, but I don't know. What were you gonna say?
He's fun to watch.
I think a big problem with the Ravens is they don't have that star running back with him. You know, they have Mark Ingram, they have J.K., but they when they're running the ball, Lamar 9 times out of 10 is going to run that ball, and you gotta stop them. And that Monday night game, the Browns pride themselves on stopping the run defense. They're a run defense kind of team. And Monday night, I did not see that in them at all. If they can't stop the run, they can't stop the Steelers. They can't stop the Ravens. How are you going to stop Kansas City? You know, I don't see it. I don't see it. If they want to take that next jump instead of just being mid-level teams, if they want to get up to that elite level, they got to be able to stop some run game, and they couldn't.
Yeah, well, I definitely have more faith in the Ravens than I ever did the Browns. Even discard last night. Discard last night, I was still, I was all over the Ravens in this game just because I trust Lamar Jackson way more than I trust Baker Mayfield. And, the Ravens have struggled a lot, but yeah,
really, I hate to say it, but I trust Baker Mayfield more than I trust Lamar Jackson. I feel like Baker throws the ball better, and he can still get out of the pocket when he needs to. In fact, he throws really well on the run. I'm trusting Baker more than Lamar these days.
I think when it came down to it, this game kind of proved what I was trying to get at too. Is they're both really good, and Baker Mayfield had a heck of a game, but at the end of the day, it was Lamar Jackson we're talking about saving the game, not Baker Mayfield, and I realized that's partly because the Ravens just had the last possession, but I don't think it would have worked out vice versa. I don't think if it was switched and it was the Cleveland Browns having to come back, I don't know if Baker Mayfield would have been able to lead that touchdown drive at the very end.
Well, I find it a little funny you say that. The Browns did do that. They were down with a minute 40, minute 50 left in the game, and Baker leads them down the field in 40 seconds, something like that, 40, 50 seconds. Yeah. The problem between Baker Mayfield being that elite level quarterback, the reason I trust Lamar over Baker, Lamar manages the game better than Baker Mayfield manages the game. If Baker Mayfield wouldn't have let the Ravens get the ball back there at the end, I think you're playing overtime and you maybe even win that game instead of letting Lamar touch that ball one more time. You couldn't stop him.
I did notice, and this is what I've been saying all year long, is Lamar can't throw the off ball. So you just pack the middle. There was in that last drive, there was a couple of passes right over the middle. How do you not see that coming? He throws a good ball over the middle. He can't throw outside the lines. So why wouldn't you just take that away from him? Pack the middle. I don't understand. That was confusing.
Yeah, but
if you force it,
at the end of the day, what happened, whether Browns defensive fail, Ravens defensive fail, but neither of those surprising, neither elite defenses. So that was last week. Let's move on to next week. There's only a few games that are important, I think, this next week. Starting off with the Chiefs visit New Orleans. Kansas City's favored by 3. I think this is the easiest I've ever jumped on Kansas City in terms of, the spread in a long time. Um, what do you guys think?
I'll tell you this. I have the Saints defense in one of my fantasy leagues this week, and I dropped them because I have no faith in and them stopping Patrick Mahomes and that Kansas City offense. That I think this will be a blowout. I think Kansas City wins by 10, maybe even 14.
I sincerely disagree. There's one thing we've learned from the season is just when we think someone's done, just when we think, someone can't play or its team is finished, or they come back and they bite you in the ass. And is this game in Kansas City or
No, it's in New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm looking at the line too. There it is.
Kansas City by 3.
God, it's only 3.5 or 3. Yeah, I love the Saints in this game. I gotta tell you, I think they bounce back.
I'm on board with Trey. I'm on board with Trey. I've never been quicker to jump on a team only favored by 3, but I mean, I think this could easily be a double-digit win for the Kansas City, especially with how the Saints played last week. I've already told you how I've lost all faith in the Saints all of a sudden, and so I just don't see New Orleans putting up a fight.
I think if New Orleans finds a way to win this game, they gain a lot of respect and can possibly make a good playoff run if they can beat the Chiefs this game, because then they'll have some momentum and they'll have that mental mindset that, hey, we can knock off MVP Mahomes. We can beat anybody.
I think Sean Payton's gonna have a few surprises. He'll have his team ready.
Obviously, most games I'm hoping that it's a good game. This game I'm definitely not, just because it's Kansas City. But any other game of the week, I would wish Sean was right. But this particular game, I honestly wish it's a Chiefs blowout. So next game I want to talk about, the Seahawks visit Washington. Seattle's only favored by 6.
That doesn't surprise me. Washington's won 4 in a row.
Yeah.
And suddenly that loss to the Washington didn't look as bad as for the Steelers as it might have. I watched that Washington game against the Steelers, and it wasn't just the Steelers playing bad. Washington played pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what to think of Seattle. I have no idea what to think of Seattle these days.
I think we've been saying that for 10 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Seattle doesn't even know what to think of themselves. Are they good? Or are they not good? We don't know. I think the more I watch what Washington is doing, the more I kind of start rooting for them. They're kind of that underdog team that, like, you want them to win. Yeah. You want that story to come out. His fight back, and they have my guy. They got Chase Young on the defensive side. I love what he's doing. He might win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Probably will. I love what Washington's doing. I think they win that division. I think they go to the playoffs, and I wouldn't be shocked if maybe they win a game in the playoffs.
This is a big game. They win 5 in a row. It's in Washington, yeah. So
yep.
I'm liking Washington the 5.5, man.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yep. So last game I want to talk about. I was scrolling through games and I only found 3 that I thought were interesting. So those 2, and the last one I thought I wanted to talk about was the Eagles visit Arizona. The Cardinals are favored by 6.5.
Wow.
6.5.
Yeah. Eagle. That's wow. I don't know what to make of either of these teams right now.
That's exactly why I chose this game.
Yeah, maybe one of you guys take it first. I'm still sorting this one out.
I think that the Cardinals, I don't know. They are good against bad teams, bad against good teams. And I think that the Eagles are they're not a good team. We've seen that. But I think that this could be a game where I don't know. I think Kyler Murray will definitely be the star of this game, and that will be the sole reason that the Cardinals will win the game. But I wouldn't be shocked if Philadelphia keeps it closer than the spread says.
Now that I sit here and think about this game, I like the Arizona Cardinals giving up the 6.5. I think that Hurst came on. They're going to start to figure out that what his weaknesses are. Cardinals have a pretty good defense. I'm going to go with Cardinals on that one.
I've been tearing over this ever since I decided that I wanted to talk about it. And I'm going to be the crazy one, and I'm going to try to, you know, I'm going to try to hopefully make the pride that I have, hopefully keep my spirits up a little bit. Not only are the Eagles going to cover the spread, but the Philadelphia Eagles under Jalen Hurts are going to beat the Cardinals in Arizona. Is what I'm going to say. The Cardinals have disappointed. Ever since everybody hopped on the Arizona bandwagon, the Cardinals have disappointed, and
Yep.
the Eagles, starting Jalen Hurts, beats the New Orleans Saints, which we've already talked about the Saints, but that's still a good win. Even if the Saints play bad, that's still a good win. So not only are the Eagles covering, the Eagles are going to beat the Cardinals in Arizona.
Wow. All right.
I think Jalen Hurts has to have a huge game. Then I think that's the only way that would happen. I think this is a true test of what he is made of. Is this game against Arizona?
Well, I hope he can. I hope he can show it. I hope he brings it, because otherwise I just look stupid if he doesn't. So I hope he brings it. So that's the NFL. That's what's going on in the NFL right now. We don't
I
have
want
too
to call a
much
couple of
time.
long shots here.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I want to call a couple upsets. I want to call. Get it down on record.
Sure.
Where was it? One moment. Sorry. Where'd it go? Sorry, I lost it.
Don't be sorry. You're good.
Oh, here's my upset. Broncos over the Bills. Straight up.
Wow, what's even the
I
spread?
wonder why.
Or what?
It's 7.
Bills by 7?
7. Broncos. It's in Denver. Buffalo just came off a huge win. Denver's not as bad as the record indicates. It's my upset special.
All right, I got an upset for you. I think the Patriots will beat the Dolphins.
Oh, you think a little pride there, huh?
I think the Patriots will beat the Dolphins.
I certainly hope so. I like to. I don't know. The Dolphins are a great story and all, but man, they're not elite. They're not special. You know,
I'm not sold on Tua yet. I'm really not.
not either. I'm not either.
That's why I think. I think that Patriot defense will eat them alive.
Belichick does find a way to scheme against young quarterbacks.
Yep.
You know, in the grand scheme of things, it's not too hard to fluster them unless they're just really good. So we'll see. We'll see. So, anything else you want to touch on the NFL before we quickly hit college?
I'm okay.
So I just want to quickly go over the conference championship games in college football. I want to start with the only conference that really matters, the Big 12. Iowa State and OU in the Big 12 championship game. Iowa State's number 6 in the country. Are they really that good? And do they have what it takes to beat OU? Again.
I don't think they do. I mean, OU's playing some pretty good football.
I'll be honest with you. I think Iowa State is highly overranked. I really do. They might be a top 10, maybe I'd put them 10. OU, I don't think OU should be ranked at all.
Wow.
I think OU this is one of the worst OU teams that I've seen in a while, 5, 6, 7 years. I think Spencer Rattler is not good at all. I know this was a while ago that I was there for the OU Kansas State game where Kansas State beat them at OU. And from that moment, I lost all faith in what OU and Spencer Rattler can do. I think they are frauds. I think that they will lose by double digits to Iowa State.
Yay. I love that.
Wouldn't have anything to do with that hat you're wearing, would it?
I love that talk. Man, I am so excited that you said that. That makes me so happy. I love to see OU lose, and so I'd love to say I agree with you. OU's playing really good football. OU's playing really well. Spencer Rattler, ever since that Texas game, Spencer Rattler stepped it up. He's learned that he has to earn his spot. So I think Iowa State's good at 6. I think that's exactly where they need to be. They're not going to raise, they're not going to lower. I think it's going to be a close championship game. I think Iowa State is going to beat OU by a few points, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. Sean, what do you think?
I like OU. I just do. I think they're going to win.
So next up, probably going to be my favorite one to watch, the ACC championship game, Notre Dame and Clemson. I hopped on the Notre Dame bandwagon all year. I think Notre Dame's exactly where they need to be. I think they're going to beat Clemson again.
I do too, and they're getting 10.5. I like that.
I don't know. I think that the Notre Dame Clemson game from before doesn't mean anything. I think not having Trevor Lawrence really, you don't see the real Clemson. I think that you see the real Clemson on Saturday, and that Notre Dame kind of gets scared and doesn't realize that they're going to try to come back and do what they did against Clemson last time, and it's not going to work. Dabo Swinney's one of the best coaches in college football. He's gonna be able to beat Notre Dame, and I think that you will see that Notre Dame probably, while they are still one of the best 4 teams and should make the college playoffs, I think you will see that they probably aren't the second best team in the country. I like Clemson. I like Clemson over Notre Dame. I think it'll be a close game, but I think Clemson and Trevor Lawrence pull this one out.
I can respect that. I definitely think it'll be a fun game to watch.
Absolutely.
Next up, can we all agree Ohio State's going to blow out Northwestern? Can we all agree on that? I mean,
yeah. As much as I would love to see Northwestern win,
oh yeah,
I can't get on. The Wildcats.
I cannot stand Ohio State, but I mean, come on. So that's the Big
Northwestern
10.
Was it?
Do what?
Northwestern was impressing me right until the point where they lost to Michigan State. They had a really good strength of schedule, one of the best in the country. But yeah, I don't understand that game. Anyways, go ahead.
The whole Big Ten was kind of just disappointing this year. Next up, the SEC championship game might be more fun than what you think. Florida playing Alabama. I'm really high on Alabama. I think Alabama's the best team in the country again. I think Alabama's going to win it, but I don't think it's going to be a landslide. It might be 7 to 10 point victory.
It's 18.5 on the line. You know, I've been on Kyle Trask since I watched him beat Georgia, and I think he's NFL ready. I love him. I just have a feeling about Florida. And I agree. I don't know if they're going to win outright, but I think they're going to cover the 18.5 for sure.
Oh, easy.
I would love to see him win, though. I'd love that. But
until last week, I had Kyle winning the Heisman.
Mm-hmm.
I think now, Florida, they had a chance, and I think Kyle had it in his hand. It was his to have, his to lose, and he lost it. And I think now you're going to see Alabama just make little kids out of Florida, and it's going to be. I like Alabama probably by 17.
Wow, dang.
Wow, I don't know if it's going to be. I don't know if Alabama's going to do that well, but maybe. I mean, I've been high on Alabama all year, and up until the last few weeks, I really liked Mac Jones. So I definitely see where you're coming from.
I would be shocked if Alabama doesn't put up more than 40 points. I think this will be a very high scoring game. I think you might see 52 to 35, something like that.
Yeah.
But I think that it's going to be easy 17 or higher for Alabama. Easy.
I'm digging it.
Well, all right. Seems like Vegas agrees with you. So.
All right. So finally, didn't even want to touch on the Pac-12, but I guess we might as well, just because, I guess they're Power 5 still. Oregon and USC in the Pac-12 championship game. I like USC all day.
I'm a UCLA fan, so I hate both these teams. Much as I hate to admit it, I got to go with my hometown, USC.
Mm-hmm.
This game, to me, honestly means nothing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna. I think I honestly, I'm going to base this one solely off of the uniforms. I think Oregon wins this one. I love what Oregon does with the uniforms, and I
Come on,
like
they're
them
like
over the
girls.
Trojans.
They change their outfits every freaking game. I like girls. You gotta love that classic USC uniform. If there's anything I like about USC, it's the uniform.
I don't. I
I
don't
think
have a problem with change. Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State changes theirs up every game too. I don't have a problem with changing up the uniforms, not even a little bit. So I kind of see
But
your
the
point.
Oregon's colors are awful as well. I mean, how can you get behind that? That's awful. They're hard to watch. You gotta put down sunglasses.
I think that if they were anything other than the highlight yellow that they seem to love to wear, if they wear the highlight yellow, they lose. Anything else, I think Oregon wins.
So we're going basically on uniforms for that game.
That's my
I
sole
like
guess.
USC uniform. Yeah.
Might as well. Might as well.
Yeah, why not?
I
It means
I I
nothing.
say I say if USC wears white on red, they win, and if they wear red on white, they win. I say USC all day.
Uh,
All right, so that's pro football. That's college football. That's pretty much it in college football. Other than who's the Heisman? Sean and I talked about this a few weeks ago. So has yours changed at all, Sean?
Man, I was on board with Kyle Trask, and yeah, he did kind of blow it last week.
Hmm.
Um, to me, again, like you can't just hand it to what's his name in Clemson.
Trey.
He's got to play for it.
Yep.
He's got to show me a little more. Same thing with I don't. You know what? Conference games are going to mean a lot to me. This weekend's going to mean a lot to me. So I want to stick with my guy Kyle Trask because he's going to upset Alabama.
Trey, who's your Heisman?
I agree. I think the conference games this week mean a whole lot. I think we will see a clear favorite after this week. I'd like to say my guy Justin Fields will win it, but I know he probably won't. Which I have no problem saying he won't, as long as he wins the national championship for us. Honestly, I like what Notre Dame's got, but I think Mac Love is going to get it down there with Bama though.
I was pretty high on Mac Jones too, but I'm going to go the opposite route. I'm going to say Ian Book from Notre Dame does.
I love Ian Book.
I've really hopped on him the last few weeks. So if Notre Dame beats Clemson, I like Ian Book easy.
I would have no problem handing the trophy to him. I like him a lot.
All right, well, that's football from this past week. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really appreciate Trey. I really appreciate you coming on. I hope you
Thank you.
join us more often. This was a lot of fun. For everybody watching, thank you for watching. If you're listening on the podcast, thank you for listening. Please please subscribe. If you have anything you want us to talk about in particular, you have anything that you disagree with us on, please comment. We love to see the comments. We love to see what we can talk about to please you guys. So please like, subscribe, comment, and that'll be it for us. See you folks. Have a good week.